everyone that is working in motorsport is passionate about motorsport. When you travel for 200 days in 1 year and you spend most of your weekends far from home, you must be passionate. And so all my experiences as a driver in the past or designer when it was possible, talking to the drivers, understanding their language was really important for my job. So I had a possibility to grow into the company, but also to grow my experience thanks to this interaction with other people, not just engineers, but managers, team principal, drivers. You can learn from everyone.
Radio check. Loud and clear.
Hi Mario, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. Busy weekend, but I'm okay.
Normal weekend then, no? Always busy?
It's not normal because we have Formula 1, Formula 2 and Formula 3 here in Spielberg, but we have also the Spa 24 hours running and the Rally Poland. So it's a very busy weekend for Pirelli.
Very happy to have you on the podcast once again. We had the chat in Barcelona last year.
Yeah, I remember.
How have things been since?
All good, going well. Busy period because we are developing the tires for 2025 as well as for 2026 where a change in regulation is planned. So clearly we have all these developments that are running. Formula 3 is moving to 16 inches in next year. So our R&D people are very, very busy.
Since we have just a bit more time than last year, I just wanted to ask you as an intro, something about yourself, because we are used to see you in the paddock representing Pirelli for a long time. Just wanted to know, and for people to know, how you started with the firm, how you got attracted to motorsport. How did it start?
Okay, so I'm a motorsport fan since when I was 12, and I started to race with go-karts for 10 years. I was passionate about driving, and I was dreaming to be a Formula 1 driver. Then I realized that I was not going to be a Formula 1 driver, and I tried to find a different way to stay connected to motorsport. I had the possibility to join Pirelli in 1996 as a test driver. They asked me to do a test driving in Isola, and I started like this. After some time, I wanted to have a new challenge in the company, and they moved me to a design department for road tires. And then I was in a small group. At the time, we were starting to design winter tires.
Okay.
And this small group was focused on winter tires. I did that for 3 years. And then there was the opportunity to move to motorsport initially with GT, which I did for 5 years until when the Maserati MC12 won the championship. I was, let's say, the reference designer for the MC12 tires. Then I was managing the rally group, the rally team until 2009. And then we had the opportunity to come back to Formula 1, and obviously I took the opportunity.
All the way through?
Yeah, it was never a boring experience because I had the possibility to change my job, to grow in the company, and it was very nice to do that.
How many years in the end?
In motorsport from 2001, so it's now 23 years, and in Pirelli is a bit more.
Does it help you to have your driving skills in your daily job now? Or?
I believe that everyone that is working in motorsport is passionate about motorsport. When you travel for 200 days in 1 year and you spend most of your weekends far from home, you must be passionate. And so all my experiences as a driver in the past or designer when it was possible, talking to the drivers, understanding their language was really important for my job. So I had a possibility to grow into the company, but also to grow my experience thanks to this interaction with other people, not just engineers, but managers, team principal, drivers. You can learn from everyone.
Moving on to Pirelli's action now in F1. there is something I wanted to talk to you mainly. It's the FSC tires that is something very new.
It's very new. From this year, we have all our Formula 1 tires that are FSC certified. That's very important for us because it's not Pirelli that is certifying anything. It's a third party that is accredited third party. And this is a clear element that is telling you how important is sustainability for Pirelli. Sustainability is not something that Pirelli is looking after since few years. We started with actions towards the reduction of our impact for the environment many years ago. All our motorsport factories are using electricity coming from renewable sources. The natural rubber we use in the tires is certified by FSC. Few years ago, we got the 3 stars accreditation from the FIA on sustainability and many other achievements. And we are looking after each small detail in our operation to try to reduce our impact. All our logistics is with mainly sea freight, and trailers are with the latest version of the Euro 6 D homologation. So we try to reduce as much as we can air freight. Single-use plastic is not present in our operation. Any small detail is important. Also, our shoes are made with recycled materials, for example. But most important is the life cycle of our tires. So starting from production to the logistic that I already mentioned, to the end of life, because we collect all the tires back. We send them to UK where we crash them, and we use them as a secondary raw material to create new materials, new application like plastic floors, like they put some amount of rubber in the asphalt. And for the future, obviously, we are committed to find even better solution for a circular economy.
So the difference between a FSC tire and the regular one
is mainly on the natural rubber that is certified by FSC. So all the process is guaranteeing biodiversity, respect of local population, and the way in which we manage the natural rubber from the source to the end of life is certified by the forest stewardship.
Right. So if we rewind a bit, because I wanted to have a chat with you about how tires are made, where they come from, because I'm not sure if everyone knows, basically. So I think it's interesting to...
Yeah, sure. Obviously, we have raw materials coming from different parts of the world, and then we produce them. Our production is in Romania, where we have a dedicated factory for Formula 1. Our motorsport factories are in Romania, in Turkey, and in Brazil, but Formula 1 is made in Romania. Once the tires are made, and obviously there is a process to make it, we send them for the overseas events straight to the track using sea freight, as I said. For European events, we use our hub in Didcot, because the point is that there is a specific process to allocate the tires. There is a barcode on the tire that is provided by the FIA, and the random allocation. This is to guarantee that we don't make any specific tire, any special tire for anyone. So it's a complete random allocation. Once we receive the allocation, few days before the race from the FIA, we separate the tires in order to come to the circuit with the tires that are already in certain position. Otherwise, it's too complicated to fit 1,800 tires in 2 days. We need to know where the tires are. We come to the track on Monday, set up our fitting area, start fitting from Wednesday morning. Thursday lunchtime, fitting process is finished. We give all the tires to the teams, and then we have one allocated engineer in each team, giving to the team information and collecting data that are shared with the team, and that's the way in which we follow.
And then they go back to Pirelli's.
And they go back to Pirelli. Obviously, we have briefing each day with the teams. in order to share the data that are not confidential. And we give a feedback to all the teams that is the same for everybody. Because what is important when you are the sole supplier is not just that the product has to be the same, clearly, but also that the level of technical assistance that you provide to the team must be the same. Otherwise, one team could have an advantage because he knows how to use the tire better.
Going back to the FSC tires, just wanted to know if there is a difference for you at Pirelli or for the teams in terms of logistics or anything, or is it business as
no, it's just respecting all the criteria that are defined by the FSC in order on how to manage this rubber. This natural rubber cannot mix with any other natural rubber, for example, but we organize the factory in a way that it cannot happen, and we respect all the single parameters that are defined.
Last year we spoke about the race to road.
Yes.
The fact that Pirelli does that. Is it with this, with the FSC tires, is it the same, or is it road
It is
to race?
the same. We have many actions that have been implemented on road tires, not only this one, but also the first FSC tire was a road tire. Actually, it was not the Formula 1 tire. And they are using also renewable or recycled materials on road tires. We are plans also for the future, for motorsport on going into this direction. Obviously, we have a sustainability project with Formula 1 that we share with Formula 1. Is a journey together with Formula 1 to reduce our impact. You probably know that Formula 1 is working on sustainable fuels
of course.
and other ideas, and we are doing our part.
It goes along,
Yes, and we are doing our part in this journey.
I was actually going to ask you if there is sometimes, because we talk about race to road, if there was road to race, but it's one case, right?
There is a flow that sometimes can be also the opposite, road to race. It's easier that we have from race to road because here we can test new solutions, new ideas that then we can implement on road tires. Clearly, this environment is the most stressful for tires, where you reach high temperature, you stress the construction at the highest level. And so what you learn here in terms of new materials, new geometries, new concepts is something that you can apply on road tires. The round flat technology was tested for the first time in rallying, for example, as well as other ideas like the shape of the bid that we use in Formula 1 is the same that we have on our P0, because here the matching between the rim and the tire is really important to avoid any rim turning, any slip on the rim, and that's important also for road cars, powerful road cars that could have the same issue.
Right. Moving on to the future, you talked about the 2026 regulation that the FIA released in Montreal. What's the challenge for you guys at Pirelli?
Every time there is a new regulation, it's a challenge. We were quite used to it because in 2016 we had to develop the wider tire for 2017 and also in 2022 the 18 inches tire. So what we do is to try to work together with the teams. We work together with the teams on the virtual models. That's really important because we will not have the proper 2026 cars available before 2026. We will test our tires on mule cars, but the mule cars are similar to what we are using now, so with a complete different downforce package and the way in which they work. They operate the tire is different. Important because we want to validate our tire on track, but the most important part of the job is on a virtual environment. So we need to work with them. We supply a virtual model of the tire. They have a virtual model of the car they can use in their simulators. And obviously, our advantage is that we have models of the cars coming from 10 different teams. So if anyone is doing something wrong, we can see that. Obviously, we cannot say anything, but we can exclude from our simulation. and we can converge to a better model of the tire.
Yeah.
And with this iteration, usually we come to a final version of the tire that is quite close to the version that we are then using on track.
So Pirelli has been working on that tire for a long time now, or is it because I feel like the teams can't really work on their cars, right? For
no, you're right, and there are deadlines already defined. So we are going to supply the first version, for example, of the wind tunnel tire later this year. And then the rig test tires, there is another deadline. So there are some deadlines defined by the FIA to avoid any unfair advantage of, for example, big teams compared to the small teams with more resources. We started to work at the 2026 tires in November last year because we renewed the contract in Formula 1 in October. So until October, obviously, we didn't have a contract and we had no possibility to work on 2026. The initial proposal was to use a 16-inch tire, which we believe was not the right way to go for many reasons. For example, the technology transfer from race to road on 16-inch was not as relevant as it could be on 18-inch. We understand that they want to save weight, so it's fine. We design a tire that is slightly smaller, still 18-inch, that we believe can achieve the targets that are defined for 2026. We sent our analysis to the FIA. They were happy to accept our proposal. Now we have the final version of the tire, the final size of the tire, and we are working on the virtual model that will be released to the team soon.
Right, and then publicly later on, maybe next year.
The first test on 2026 mule cars is planned for September in Barcelona with Aston Martin.
Okay.
So, quite soon.
Right. Yeah. Talking about innovations, there's been talks about things that I wanted to chat with you about regarding the rain tire that we discussed last year. I think you had tested the first version in Monaco with the cars, I think. Ferrari has tested a new spray guard that was a potential thing to reduce the spray. How did Pirelli work with that? Is there something to know? Or
talking about the wet weather tires, we have two targets. One is to remove blankets from the intermediate tire, and we are testing some new ideas, new compounds to remove blankets. It's difficult because when you test a new tire versus the current one with blankets, obviously for the drivers it's better the one with blankets because it's ready straight out of the box, while the one without blankets need a couple of corners to warm up. And the second target is on the extreme wet tires. For them, unfortunately, is a bit more complicated because we have a tire now that is working on low severity circuit. You can see in Montreal, for example, where Haas decided to start the race with the full wet, and they gained a lot of position in full wet condition. But this tire is not enough. The performance of the tire is not enough on high severity circuits. But the circuits where we can test the extreme wet tires are only Paul Ricard, that is low severity, and Fiorano, that is low severity. So what we miss at the moment is a high severity circuit that could be Silverstone, Spa, Suzuka, where we can test the new solutions. We have ideas. We tested already in Paul Ricard a month ago or so with a positive indication, but we still don't know if this could be enough for high severity circuits. That's why for the next tests that are planned in the next weeks, we have, for example, Silverstone and we have Spa. We always have a backup plan in case of rain. We have the possibility to test the wet weather tires, but unfortunately, we don't have the possibility to put weather on track and test these tires in a controlled condition.
Okay. What do you think about this idea of using a Monaco tire.
Using Monaco tire, what does it mean?
Some tire with higher degradation to increase the show, or
this idea is coming not to fix the issue with Monaco, because honestly Monaco is so unique,
specific, yeah.
that is impossible to. We should design 3 compounds just for Monaco, and in any case, with these big cars we are using now, is almost impossible to overtake. So
yeah,
there is another issue in Monaco. But my comment on that was that in the current calendar we have more and more street circuits. We have Las Vegas, we have Miami, we have Baku, we have more circuits with low severity. And if we want to achieve the target to have two-stop strategies also on this circuit, we probably need a range of compound that is slightly softer.
Yeah.
That means that introducing what we can call a C6, that is a step softer than the current softest one, can give us more flexibility in the tire selection, and so to have a better situation for this kind of low severity circuits. On top of that, we have also to consider to have a C2 tire for next year that is slightly closer to the C3. At the moment, the gap between C2 and C3 is a little bit too big. In Barcelona, it was more than 1 second. It was 1.1, 1.2 second per lap difference. That is too much. So we need to find a C2 compound with a little bit more grip and a C1 with a little bit more grip. The rest is fine.
Yeah, okay. I think that does it. Thank you, Mario.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Radio check. Loud and clear.